Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS Episode 1 titled My Name is Playmaker has just released today in Japan, and this marks a new chapter in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, a new chapter in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, and I'm happy to be a part of this and review this series. So before I begin on with the video, I just want you guys to note that there is a Facebook and Twitter fan page regarding this Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. You guys can check that out down in the description if you want to talk to Dimsy's Domain and I about this series, along with just chat with the community. And the community is much bigger in the Facebook group. That's where most of us conversate and have discussions about VRAINS as well as Dark Side Dimensions, so check that out down below. I'm not going to be giving a breakdown of everything that happens in the episode, simply because once you do watch the episode, you're going to already know what happens. I'm just going to pick apart key moments that I think are very important throughout the episode, but let me just give you guys my general thoughts before I do that. This episode was very different from all the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 1s I've seen. I've seen Duel Monsters, GX, and 5Ds. I'm actually going to be watching Zexal as well as Arc 5 Episode 1 along with all the other 3 for the review series that's going to be coming out very soon. I have no idea when I'm going to post that review. It just depends on how much time it's going to take to edit that. But this is so different in this episode simply because it's very similar to 5Ds where the plot's already been established. It just takes an X amount of years after that, and that's where the journey, the episode commences off. And VRAINS does a wonderful job with that. So what happens is we get the beginning shot with Revolver in the Cyverse world that everyone is seemingly after, Soul Technology along with the Knights of Hanoi. Now, to my memory, I don't know why they're after the Cyverse world. Maybe there's something hidden in it, very grand, that utopian bliss of a world possibly, and they want that. Maybe, I don't really know yet. We're just going to have to wait and see, but we see that there are other AIs in this world. Now, we know of the mysterious life form whose real name is actually Ignis. And the thing with Ignis is that he's basically like a character that's supposed to be taken serious, but through his actions, he does humor. And right from the bat, he's like, oh, I'm your guys' savior. I will save you guys. Talking to his probably like his siblings or something like that, or his AI buddies. And when you look at the AIs, they very much resemble the characters. Now, there's about 5 AIs. I'm going to post an image up on the screen right now of all these AIs. The first being Ignis. We know that he's Yusaku's Aibo, his partner. There's another one that's yellow, and that's a very bulky and that resembles Go Onizuka. In addition to that, there is this blue AI that sort of looks like Aoi Zaizen, or my bad, Blue Angel is the better term to say. So I think that these AIs are counterparts, or they share some sort of connection to characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Most likely certain characters such as Emma Besho, along with Go Onizuka, Aoi Zaizen, and Yusaku Fujigura, the Playmaker. These characters that are very much popular, that are special, and are the main cast. But as I was saying before, they did a wonderful job on incorporating this whole formula where it's different from the whole norm that Yu-Gi-Oh! Episodes usually tend to follow, at least the beginning one. This went straight in the action. It did a wonderful job on incorporating slice life. Initially, when I watched it raw, I said that this had too much action, too much stuff in it, and that the pacing was fast. But when watching it with subtitles and having much more context on what's going on, they did a wonderful job. But talking about those 5 AI programs, 6, somewhere around that number, what could they be? What's so significant about those AI programs? I imagine that they hold something very powerful, hence the reason why Soul Technology as well the Knights of Hanoi are after them. It's most likely that Revolver has those AI programs in captivity, and the reason why Knights of Hanoi along with Soul Technology are after the mysterious life form, Ignis, is that he knows where the Cyverse world is. He actually hid it from the real world. And Soul Technology is pretty much after it because their company has been declining. And if this keeps on going on, it's going to get to that point where they're not going to be successful anymore. So it makes sense for a company to do that, because what company wants to do bad? What company does not want to make money? So I understand that portion, but for the Knights of Hanoi, I have no idea why the hell they're after it. I can't really think of a theory off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to wait until episode 2, but you know what, I'll just give a little theory. What I think is that they're basically like every Yu-Gi-Oh! Villain where they're confused. They're a confused group. They're following this sort of motive or this belief that's really nothing. That's a bunch of bullcrap at the end of the day. But let's talk about Yusaku Fujigura, or the Playmaker. Now, the episode has a 5-year time skip that took place within one episode. Actually, I don't even think there's ever been a time skip that took place within an episode, or at least the first episode. Now, if I recall correctly from 5Ds, they were in the present day already, but they sort of reminisced about the whole Zero Reverse event that happened 20 years, I think, or whatever Yusei's age was at the time. So I do respect this episode in the sense of it being different. It really got me off guard. It got my guard off. They did a lot of things I wouldn't expect. For example, a duel not happening in this episode. Now, there was a duel that happened with the Knight of Hanoi member, but the thing is, it's like the Junochi versus Yugi duel in episode 1, where it was just sort of 2 seconds. It was like a off-screen duel. And that's basically what this Knight of Hanoi duel was. So I wouldn't technically count that as a duel, even though it is a duel. But anyways, now when it comes to voice acting for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, I think everyone does a wonderful job. Revolver does a wonderful job. His voice fits his character. There really is no character that has a bad voice except for Ignis, but that's granted simply because he's an AI program. He's not supposed to have a beautiful voice. Now, I'm going to be doing an intro breakdown tomorrow, and I'm going to go much more in depth about what they've shown inside the intro, but the thing is, there are birds in this intro. Along with that, there are some scenes of Yusaku reminiscing about his past, or attempting to, and there are birds in that scene. So I think birds are going to play a very vital role in this show. Now, maybe the birds are basically the dragon signer marks from 5Ds. I want to really talk about Naoki Shima along with Yusaku Fujiki's relationship. Now, Naoki Shima and Yusaku are classmates. It's been 1 month since school started, and Yusaku doesn't even know Naoki Shima's real name, or he doesn't even know his name yet. So in this scene, Yusaku is sort of acting like a douche to Naoki Shima. But you gotta understand this, the dude just woke up from a dream about his past. The subconscious territories where you're reminiscing about your past, and for Yusaku's character, his past is very important to him. So you know he might have a nightmare or something like that. So his mood is most likely affected from that dream, but I might be overthinking or overanalyzing that. Anyways, Yusaku is talking with Naoki Shima, and Naoki Shima is talking about the Charisma Duelist, the AI world, and how there is a new duelist that Soul Technology created, and how the cards are virtual while Yusaku still needs to have a deck with him, since he's running an older deck that was created most likely by Soul Technology. And Soul Technology is basically the hype corporation of this series. But there really is nothing important to talk about from this scene, except the fact that Yusaku sort of says this to Naoki Shima. He says that there are 3 things that I've noticed about you that are bad and that are good. And he talks about reasoning such as, you judge your opponent from his appearance rather than looking at his deck. And it was good to see that from Yusaku's character, and that he's really good from what that bio stated several months ago, that he's good at reading people. And he literally fell asleep, woke up, and read Naoki Shima, even though Naoki Shima's a character that basically anyone with the human brain can read. I mean, just look at the character. He's very easy to read, but still, I give props to Yusaku for doing that. So they just continue to talk on that really isn't necessary to talk about. But then it pans to Soul Technology in their building, and I do want to say one thing. Their logo is extremely bad. I mean, honestly, for a show that takes place within 2027, according to sources that I think it was from a Yoshida as well as the new director interview, they talk about how this show takes 10 years after the present day, which is our time, or our present year. Their logo is bad. But anyways, from the cast list, we got 2 characters that we didn't know about. Spectre along with Bishop. Now, if you guys have not seen VRAINS episode 1 yet, Bishop is a pretty funny character. Now, he's not funny from his dialogue, from what he states, because he comes off as a very serious character. But the dude is legit a Bishop. And what I mean is he's a chess piece. He's a legit chess piece. Which at first, when I woke up, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS episode 1. And I was like, what the hell? Why is this dude a chess piece? And then I was sort of talking to a few other Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, and they pointed it out, and I was like, wow. Wow. But Bishop and Akira Zaizen are talking to each other, and they talk about why they're after the mysterious life form, and how Cyverse is very important to them, and that their data material went down 30%, and all this business savvy stuff that you can understand from just watching the episode there. So there's really no need to talk about that. But one thing I noticed is how this was a poor execution on VRAINS' writing. It's basically just meant to give out information, and they're just talking to each other. As for Revolver and Spectre, I really don't know yet about their relationship. I think Spectre just basically sucks up to Revolver, and Revolver has one agenda in mind, one goal, which is to take that AI program he's been after for 5 years now and possibly even more. So I like that he's motivated, that he's trying to get the AI program, but 5 years is nothing when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Villains. You got Darth, whom waited 10,000 years for a Tim. Waited 10,000 years to gather the strongest soul to run the Great Leviathan. I really want to talk about Kusanagi and Yusaku's relationship. They look like they've been long-time friends because they have the same interests. They're very much good hackers. And Yusaku goes to, Kusanagi's hot dog vendor shop. And they're talking about how there's this AI program that's on the run, and Yusaku sort of has a flashback to his duel that he had with the Knight of Hanoi member, and he notices that the Hanoi group is after this AI program, and he sort of uses the AI program as a hostage to get what he wants from the Knight of Hanoi, which is probably going to be shown in the later episodes. But the thing is, there's this one line that Yusaku says, and this is probably my favorite line from this episode: "I will get revenge on those who stole your little brothers and my passed away." Now, we don't know anything about Kusanagi's little brother, nor do we know anything about Yusaku's past, and this is very much the main motivation for Yusaku Fujiki right now from what we've known. So I can't wait to see what VRAINS has in store for that. But anyways, one flaw that I have about this episode, and I don't know if this is bad on my end, but sort of looking at it from a logical perspective, is that you got SOL Technology, or Soul Technology, a group, possibly $1 billion business. They have all this technology in the world, but you got two people, Yusaku Fujiki and Kusanagi, that are in this hot dog vendor shop. That Yusaku Fujiki plants a little bug inside this Link VRAINS system and is able to make an escape route for Ignis. Even though Soul Technology was not able to do that, even though they have the money to do that, as well as the Knight of Hanoi. So I don't know if that's good. That's good writing in the sense that it builds off Yusaku's character. It follows what they've stated several months ago, that he's a very good hacker and that he's very good at his cracking abilities. But I'm just like, it doesn't really make sense. Anyhow, this is only halfway through the episode, and a lot's already happened. And when SOL Technology was sort of scanning through the Link VRAINS world, their systems went down, and then Revolver's like, this is the best time to capitalize. So he actually gets one of his Knight of Hanoi members to attack the Link VRAINS world, and Go Onizuka along with Blue Angel are about to commence in a duel, as Go Onizuka is like a very well-known charisma duelist, and Blue Angel is the poster girl for VRAINS. So we see this Knight of Hanoi member going after Aoi first, and she's very scared, and the fact is I would be scared as well if there's this huge ass dragon coming after me. So it's logical in that regard. A lot of people were enraged at the fact that Aoi was getting attacked from the Knight of Hanoi member, and that she didn't stand up for herself, along with sort of block the fire, and that she was like that character that was basically used as a plot device for Yusaku Fujiki. And the fact is, guys, you got to understand this, right? Aoi's eyes in Blue Angel, we don't know much about her powers yet, but just from looking at her, she seems like a very calm and happy person that's not going to have these special abilities, that just has a good form to some people. And that's basically it. Now, I don't know the full extent on Aoi's powers yet, but the fact is, when there is fire coming to you, straight for you from a dragon, and that shit's not even going to give you 4th degree burns. That shit's going to give you 1,000,000 degree burns, alright? Your whole body's going to disintegrate. And people are getting mad at the fact that she screamed and sort of, just try to run away. I mean, go for it. It's good in the sense that Yusaku came in and saved her, which sort of builds up their character as well. And she asks, "Who are you?" And then he doesn't reply back. But once he talks to the Knight of Hanoi member, he's like, "Yes, it's me. I'm Playmaker." And one thing I forgot to mention is that when Yusaku gets the AI program, he puts it in his dual disk, and not only that, he puts he creates a program of some sort that makes the AI program stay in there, and he can't use his abilities to escape from that. So Yusaku's smart as well. They did a nice job on making Yusaku a smart character. As for that, one other moment I liked from this episode is how Yusaku enters into the Link VRAINS world. And it seems like you need to be in a certain spot or a certain area, because in the back of Kusanagi's shop, there was basically this tube that allowed him to go into there. But anyways, this episode was good. It sort of ends off with Yusaku and the Knight of Hanoi member about to commence in a duel. And also another thing I should mention is that the mysterious life form actually creates the data storm that was talked about, that happened a while ago in the Link VRAINS world, and he also boosted up Yusaku Fujiki's deck, or the Playmaker's deck, which was cool. Now, the pros about this episode I basically stated. I like a lot of things that happen in this episode. The cons are things like, Yusaku being able to hack that even though Soul Technology has much more resources, as well as the animation. The animation was okay. It wasn't that good. It was okay, and for the CGI is well, right? It's not like a DSOD quality. It's not coming close to DSOD in terms of animation and art and as well as CGI, but it was good for an episode. As for that, I like the characters. I like Revolver. I like that they're building up each character, or well, at least Kusanagi and Yusaku. I really want to see what Yusaku's past is about. But with that note, I'm going to be doing these little, I would say, rituals for each Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS episode. So I'm going to basically have a fun meter along with a rating that I'm going to give and a favorite quote. So my favorite quote is that thing that Yusaku said. He said to the Knight of Hanoi member. He states, "Knight of Hanoi, wherever you go, I will be there. My name is Playmaker." So that's basically my favorite quote throughout that episode. As well as the fun meter, this episode had, I would say, little to no fun. It was very serious, so shit, I'm gonna give it like probably a 30 out of 100. As for that, my rating, just because this episode shocked me in the sense of it did a lot of stuff that I wouldn't notice or I wouldn't catch, I'm gonna give this episode a 7, or my bad, rather an 8. At first I gave it a 7.7, but with knowing more context of what happens, I boosted up 3 points. But that's the video for today. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts are on this episode, and see you guys later.